to DuckTales Season 3, I honestly didn't expect for there to be, parody. And by that, I mean an episode that's just chock full of parody. I'm talking about the second episode of the third season. I'm John Barry, and today we are reviewing DuckTales Quack Pack. And man, I gotta say, this is a fun episode because it plays off our expectations of nearly every genre that has ever been done with the DuckTales characters. It really does. First of all, we have our expectations of the normal show, and we got our expectations of all the other iterations featuring these characters. We had the 90s show, incarnation of Huey, Dewey, Louie, and also Donald, called Quack Pack. I've actually watched it on Disney Plus. If you want to hear my thoughts about it, maybe I'll do a review of the series as a whole. But that's obviously where they got the name from. But this episode, man, do they parody it, because it's probably the most slice-of-life style incarnation of especially Huey and Dewey and Louie that we've probably ever gotten, in my opinion. Some people are maybe a bit more familiar with more of the comics and some of the more obscure cartoons. Then maybe you might know something I don't, but yeah, Quack Pack was a pretty slice of life, and this episode is not a slice of life, but it is. And we're going to get to that, but they also, in this episode, they parody sitcoms, specifically, studio sitcoms that are filmed before a live studio audience. And there are still sitcoms that are filmed that way, and so you only have, you have 3 walls, and characters don't always break the 4th wall. But this is actually kind of interesting. There is a 4th wall break in here. Wait, there's a 4th wall break, but then wouldn't the other 4th wall break then be a 5th wall break? Yeah. But, so yeah, this episode, and what happens? Well, I'm not going to start at the beginning like the episode, beginning of the episode, I'm going to start at the beginning of the timeline. So, they were on, the McDuck family was on an adventure, and Donald makes a wish basically for his family to live a normal life, and boom, they're all of a sudden a sitcom family. And yeah, it's obviously influenced by the 1990s, and I think a little bit by the DuckTales sitcom, and actually the genie that granted the wish said, and no, I think it might have been Della, or might have been Scrooge, who asked, how long were you in that lamp? And the genie starts, kind of like, it was a long time ago in the 1990s. And yeah, that was, basically 3 decades ago now, since the 90s started. So yeah, things have changed. Sitcoms, I think, have changed in some regards, but then again, not every sitcom has changed. They still, laugh track and everything. Yeah, this episode had a laugh track until they broke the 4th wall for the episode itself, but not the as I said, it's like, okay, you got 4 walls, and then you got another 4 walls. It's almost how it is. And we do actually get a 4th wall break from this genie character. And now I kind of want to talk a little bit about the genie that grants Donald's wish. And we actually do know about his wish. He wishes that, 4 times a day. And he says, how was he supposed to know that this time it will actually come true? And I should say, in this episode, until the wish is ungranted, Donald speaks normal. Not normal for him, but more like how he did it in the Shadow Wall, where people can actually understand him. And I'm surprised nobody actually commented on that. Once they realized what was going on, which is actually kind of interesting. But anyhow, let's get back to the genie, whose name is Gene. Gene, which, damn, give him a name. Don't just call him Genie. Whether it's spelled like the genie from Aladdin or Genie from I Dream of Genie. Give the genie a different name. Gene. Makes sense. Anyhow, the visual design of Gene is clearly inspired by the genie from the DuckTales, I never know where this episode or movie plays in the original DuckTales timeline for the original show from the 80s, but Treasure of the Lost Lamp. So I do like the idea they took the design from there for this character, Gene. And also they make another reference to the character from the episode Treasure of the Found Lamp, where one Right? It might have been Louie kind of smart. How many names does he have? Which is actually kind of a neat thing. I don't know really if that's the case, but yeah, just kind of throw that out there. But so the character Gene, there's clearly a little inspiration also taken from the character, the character of Robin Williams' Genie from Aladdin. There's a bit of his kind of idea, knows more what's going on than the characters. Because near the end of this episode, Gene does say, greatest episode ever. And everyone, probably all the characters will be thinking he's talking about their experience in Donald's Wish. But I'm not so sure. I think he was literally referring to the episode we, in the real world, are watching. The second episode of the third season. That's what I think he actually was referring to. I'm not sure. But also, I should mention that there's a guest character in here. And that character is Goofy. And so it's so you do wonder, see real what's going on, and well, he's still there at the end of the episode after the wish is ungranted. And you know what Gene says? So what he says is that magic has nothing over the power of a big name guest star, which is that is the most fourth wall break thing he could do, or in this case a fifth wall break. Yeah, when you got a TV show in a TV show type situation, yeah, those things can get kind of weird. And then he kind of flashes like some merchandise related to Goofy that may or may not be real, I'm not sure. But that does lead me to question, is Goofy going to be in other episodes now that he's been introduced in here? So, who knows, but obviously they're treating this like Goofy is a guest star on this episode, in universe, and was not brought in just for the gag of the episode, even though he probably was. So that does, will he be featuring in other episodes? I don't know, and you know what? I don't want to know. If it happens, I'm fine. If it doesn't, I'm also fine. We could discuss all day how this episode is in relationship to the fourth wall. But they do have a fourth wall joke in there, where Huey's like, have you even tried looking at the fourth wall? And the other characters are like, no, there is a fourth wall. Well, as in the gym and fourth wall, as you would see in a room with 4 walls, like my bedroom. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, good, none of them are fake. So there's that joke where they poke fun at the fourth wall and how characters are always oblivious to the fourth wall. So in this case, they become aware of the fake fourth wall in the show. It's a fake fourth wall, so is it actually the fourth wall, and then what the wall between us and them is a fifth wall? Yeah, let's not go into that. That's going to just destroy our heads and make us go crazy. But yeah, this was a fun, enjoyable episode, kind of a change of pace, but also it's a learning moment for Don, and he actually gets that bit of advice from Goofy, which kind of makes sense if he's a big name guest star, for lack of a better term, is that, well, yeah, of course he's not going to be part of the problems in the episode, he's going to be part of the solution. Which is actually generally how sitcoms work when you think about it, but anyhow, the advice is, every family has its own normal, and Goofy demonstrates this to Donna by getting out his wallet and photos, then he got Goofy's son Max in there. And a picture of a great, family moment for them that just didn't go as planned, but it was still a great moment. Which kind of does pick up with, I think, a lot of what stuff in the Goofy movies as well. And there's other pictures in there that we could break down. Looks like there was a picture of Goofy's son Max with Roxanne, who was Max's girlfriend in at least one of the Goofy movies. As I said, it's been I think just an extremely Goofy movie. I know there's some others. Yeah, I should actually go check them out on Disney Plus someday and review them, because why not? What else am I going to do while we're all stuck at home? Actually, yes there is. It's called online coursework. But anyhow, so while they're stuck inside the wish of Donald's, all their clothing pretty much reverts, well, not all of them, but for Scrooge and Donald in particular, their clothing reverts to how they used to appear, for lack of a better term. So Scrooge's outfit from the original DuckTales cartoon. Donald's outfit his sailor outfit that we only saw at the start of the reboot DuckTales, and that we also see throughout most of his cartoons he features in, often with Mickey Mouse and Goofy. And then for the other characters, it's more not so much done, like they just made the colors brighter, more cartoony, for lack of a better term. In a cartoon, you're making things more cartoony, which is kind of interesting. But they do that for all of them, and of course and all the characters, like, it's kind of interesting how none of the characters, except for Huey, are aware that something's going on. And for Huey, it's just by opening his Junior Woodchuck guidebook and seeing that it's empty, with nothing written on it, and that starts his, like, figuring out what's going on. But yes, as I was saying, the character designs are not necessarily updated, but are given a design to either make him more cartoony or to pay homage to a previous iteration of said character. If you've watched the Disney Channel before, then you probably would know oftentimes right before, after a commercial break, right before the episode resumes, one of the characters from the episode will do something related to the Disney logo. Oftentimes there's like drawing it with a wand or something. There's been a couple iterations of it, I've seen online. Haven't seen them all. But they do parody that in this episode as well, which I think is kind of neat. There's a good lot of parodying references to how TV kind of actually operates, which makes for this a fun episode. It's probably the episode I laughed the most in, though there is, of course, a good message. Each family has its own Noma, which is what Donna finds out. And speaking of that, you know what he uses his third and final wish for? For a family picture. That actually, and the picture is them in the wish when they were basically fighting off the studio audience that turned against them in order to keep the wish going. Yeah, that was a bit weird, but that's what it is. But there you go, the episode. As I said, this is a good, fun episode. It's a change of pace, but it is a fun change of pace, and I recommend that you do watch it. If there's anything that I forgot that you would like to add, please let me know down in the comment section down below, because I am sure I forgot something. Like, I've cut it out, but about 3 or 4 times during the review, I went to my computer to rewatch portions of it just so I could talk about it, because there is so much going on in here, and so much that can be discussed. Maybe I'll come back to this episode again at some point with a more critical lens, or not critical lens, but a final lens. But before I go, please consider checking me out on Facebook or Twitter, links are in the description, as well as a link to join my Discord server or to support me on Patreon. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already, and ring the bell if you want to be notified of when the latest DuckTales review comes out. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to like the video or dislike it if you prefer that. And also feel free to check out the video or the playlist on screen now. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. Life is like a hurricane. DuckTales. Woo!